Today I'm going to shoot a little piece on lure selection and how you select lures, and hopefully this will give you an idea what Mike and I do and help you locate and catch more fish. The first and foremost is you want to make sure that you're going to pick a presentation, a bait, something that you have a great deal of confidence in. So when you start your day and you're trying to figure out what you're going to use, not only do you need a bait that you have confidence in, you need to pick a bait or presentation that's going to match the speed that you're trolling at. So a good example is if I'm fishing in the winter or early spring, the water temperature is pretty cold, 60 degrees and below, I know that I'm going to be trolling at a slower speed. So that is not the time to pull out a Rapala or some type of big plug. You want a lure that will work at slow speed, and you want a smaller size because the fish are lethargic and they're not chasing down prey like they do when the water temperature's warm and they're feeding aggressively. Now as I go up in speed, I'm going to go up in size, and so the first thing I do is figure out what speed am I trolling, what presentation works there, and what do I have the most confidence in. Really, the first thing I do when I'm determining what I'm going to pull, besides a Trout Tricks worm, because a Trout Tricks worm, I will pull at pretty much any speed. Whether I'm slow trolling at a medium speed, or I'm speed trolling, that Trout Tricks worm works for me at all those speeds. So that is, again, why it's my #1 choice. But if the water temperature is cold, the fish are lethargic, you're going to want to make sure that your presentation is small and that your speed is slower, which means that limits what you can be or should be trolling. You don't want to troll 1.5 miles an hour and throw a Rapala plug on there, and you certainly don't want to throw a speed spoon on there. You want to troll something small like a Dick Knight or a Vibrix Fox or a Trigger Spoon Junior, something like that, a triple teaser. Those are great size presentations for slow trolling lethargic trout. Now as the trout become more aggressive, the water temperature rises, then you can speed up your troll and you can fish bigger baits. And so once I get up to that 2 miles an hour, 2.5 miles an hour, you'll see me fish trigger spoons, still Trigger Spoon Juniors. That's where I will troll a Mag Lips. That's a great plug. Spinners for me work at any of those speeds, even the speed trolling. And then flies as well. A fly will work at pretty much any speed. We've had a lot of success with those. And then once you get up to speed trolling, you can throw on a Rapala, a Speedy Shiner, a Speed Spoon. Those are all great presentations. But for me, it's first, what's my confidence bait? How fast am I trolling, which dictates the size of the presentation. And then I play around with colors. So through the course of your tackle box, you may have 5 of the same spoons, but you want to make sure that you have different colors. On overcast days, you're going to want something dark. On bright sunny days, something in silver or a copper metal color. You want something that'll imitate a bait fish or what the fish are feeding on. Those are some of the things that guide my decisions when I am trying to figure out what the trout are going to eat. So for me, my natural progression as of late, especially in the early season, is to start with the soft plastics, the Trout Tricks worm, the Trout Tricks minnow, and if that doesn't work, I pretty much go to a spinner, a Max Wedding Ring, a Kokanee Pro, something like that. That tends to be pretty effective for me. My next move from there is typically a spoon, and if I'm trolling slow, it's going to be a Trigger Spoon Junior or a Trigger Spoon. And again, I'm going to try to pick colors based on either local knowledge, my own experience, or what I think the fish are foraging on or what I know the fish are foraging on. And if in doubt, I'll put on a bright spoon. Orange or pink are always great choices. So we were talking about lures and presentations, and probably about 16 hits in about 20 minutes or so, and nothing was hooking up. And so I do have the tail of the worm fairly far back, and so they could be short striking fish because of the weather change. So one of the changes I can make when this worm gets tore up is I'll put the hook closer to the tail end of the worm. That way if they're short striking it, they'll hit the hook and get hooked up. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So that's that Trout Tricks worm. see that hook is right about in the middle, and so that one's tore up enough that I'm going to replace it. And what I'll do when I replace that is I'll just run that hook down further into the body of the worm so that the hook is very close to the tail. There'll still be movement, but if the fish come in to hit it, they won't be able to short strike it like they were with the hook towards the middle of the worm. And we'll see if that helps us hook up with some more trout. That one just got off right there. It's a nice thing about kayak fishing. Well, you can do it on a boat as well, but you can slow down and speed up fairly quickly in a kayak, where a boat, you know, I have an eye troll on the boat, so I can do that fairly quickly. But with a kayak, it's just instinctive. You'll see a missed hit and I'll slow down and speed up, and I'll do that a couple of times. And a lot of times that will cause the fish to come back and get a hookup. So good tip if you're a kayak fisherman, you get those hits and they miss, slow down, speed up, mess around with a little bit, and you might get them to come back. So on the right side of the kayak, I switched up to a Trout Tricks minnow in orange. I've got a couple of hits. So at this point, I got to decide, is it the depth, is it the presentation, is it the color? And so I was getting more hits on that side when I was running the same bubble gum Trout Tricks worm. It's not the depth, or I'm pretty confident it's not the depth, because I got about an equal amount of hits on the right side as I did the left, trolling the same thing. So now I'm going to make a change. I could go back to the bubblegum Trout Tricks worm and troll that on both sides of the kayak, but I have an opportunity to learn something. So I'm going to switch to a spoon, because I want to see if a spoon can be just as effective as the soft plastics. I know I'm trolling between 1.8 and 2 miles an hour, so I want a smaller spoon that works well at those slower speeds. And I know pink is working really well. So as I'm trying to figure out what I want to use for a spoon, I could use a pink spoon. I have one. I have a Max Imperial. But instead, because it's overcast, I am going to go with a God's Tooth spoon and hammered copper. So that spoon wasn't very effective, so I'm going to make a change now. Instead of the spoon, I'm going to put on a small plug. I'm going to put on this little hot shot in rainbow pattern, and we'll see if we get any takers on that. Oh shit. Dude, I can't wait to... Oh, that's the biggest trout I've caught in this lake. Little tidbit, you can ask me how I found out, but I found out from experience, as you can guess. When you have a fish starting to go underneath your kayak with these pedals, the best thing to do is just split them to make sure that they're flat up against the kayak. So if you have them split like this, then those fins fold up on the hull of the kayak, and it'll be harder for the fish to get you caught up on your pedals.